Big guy here. Got some more life advice for you. Today, going to talk about how to conversate with people, how to be an interesting talker. Now, when I was growing up, I was very much a shy guy. I didn't speak unless spoken to. And throughout my late teenage years and very early 20s, all I really did was play video games, so I didn't talk to anybody. So when I decided that my life sucked and I wanted to turn it around and, especially get better in the dating area talking to women, I had to figure out how to talk to people because honestly, talking to a girl terrified the crap out of me. So, how was I going to talk to a girl when I was terrible at talking with people in general? How do I become a good conversationalist? So, I started to read books on it, read articles. Yeah, I had to read books on how to conversate with people. It's kind of crazy, but it worked. And I learned two rules when it comes to conversating with people. Rule number one: people are more concerned with what you think about them than what they think about you. Even you, if you walk up to somebody, you're worried about what they think about you. Oh, what do they think? What if they think I'm talking about is boring? What if they think I'm an idiot? What if they don't know what I'm talking about? Everyone is inherently selfish. It's a natural thing. When you walk up to somebody, that person is more worried about what you're thinking about them than what they think about you. And the second rule about talking to people: everyone's favorite conversation is themselves. Everyone's favorite topic is themselves. People love to talk about themselves. So to be a good conversationalist, all you got to do is get them talking about themselves. It's really not that hard. I mean, it might be hard opening someone up. Usually the first question or observation, if I'm standing in an elevator full of people and no one's talking, I just make some dumb remark like, I bet you all are wondering why I gathered you here today. And usually people start laughing about it, and then just be like, hey, you here for business or pleasure? What you here for? Be like, oh, pleasure, I'm on break from such and such. I'm like, really? How do you like doing such and such? I mean, what's it like doing that type of job? What made you want to do it? Just ask questions about them. Keep talking about themselves. And the one thing to try to avoid are interview questions. And when I say interview questions, are basically the boring questions that everyone seems to ask, that people always answer, and it's just like, what's your favorite color? Blue. How you gonna carry on a conversation about that? I mean, granted, something like, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a police officer. Really? What made you want to get into that? And that's how you keep the conversation going. And they'll eventually say, oh, my daddy was a father. His father was a daddy was his daddy was a police officer, and his daddy's a police officer. And you just go and say, carry on the family business. Well, how do you like it? I mean, is it fulfilling? What's your average day like? You got to ask more open-ended questions, and try not to tell anything about you. I mean, you can tell about yourself when they ask, but just keep asking questions about themselves. And the crazy thing about it, people will think you're a great conversationalist just because all you're doing is asking about them. It's weird, but it's true. I mean, you could not literally say a thing about yourself and they'll think you're the best talker in the world. But all you're doing is just asking about them. Another thing, try not to argue with someone, especially if you don't know them. Where I'm from, it's college football is a big deal. So, like, if someone says, hey, I'm a fan of this team, don't try being like, you're an idiot, you're terrible, you shouldn't be a fan of that person's team. Happens a lot here, especially someone you don't know. But if you know the person, I mean, you have fun with it. But the way I think of it is I call it the Brad Pitt rule, because growing up, Brad Pitt is a very big actor in my day. So think about it. If you're Brad Pitt and you meet somebody and they're trying to argue with you and you don't know this person, do you really care to argue? You're Brad freaking Pitt. Look good, got a good life. What's this person's opinion matter to you? So if you're talking to someone new and they're trying to argue with you, I mean, don't argue with them. I mean, just like, yeah, sure, man. You got nothing to prove to them. If you know who you are and this person's a stranger, just, I don't know, agree with them. Be like, oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, I can see how that is. There's no point in trying to prove them wrong. You're not going to change their minds in one conversation. As a matter of fact, the best way to change someone's mind on a subject that you don't agree with is keep asking them questions until they come to the same conclusion that you've already come at. That's a different story for another day. But another rule when talking with strangers: smile. That's like a especially me, I can be a big scary guy, so I'm told, but hey, just walk up to people and be like, hey, what's going on? The smile is disarming. Lets people know you're friendly. But mainly, just got to practice on stuff. There's nothing wrong with just walking up to someone and be like, hey man, you look kind of interesting. I just figured I'd come over here and talk to you and see what you're about. I mean, people should find that a compliment. If they're being rude about it, I mean, they just might be having a bad day. Go find someone else. No big deal. I promise you, people love talking about themselves. And if you want to get better in life, you got to learn to talk to people. It'll help you out immensely. But, quick little video. Just remember, when you're talking to somebody, first rule is they're more concerned about your opinion of them than what they think of you. Second rule, everyone's favorite subject's themselves. So just keep the conversation about them. And if they ask you questions about you, answer them, If you can relate to what they're talking about, absolutely bring it up. That's pretty cool. But for the most part, keep them talking about themselves. And they'll think you're cool as shit for it. Big guy out.